Hello, welcome everyone to Elevated Existence, our YouTube channel. This is Tammy Mastroberte, founder of Elevated Existence and publisher and editorial director of Elevated Existence magazine. We are here today with New York Times bestselling author Gabrielle Bernstein, and we will be talking about her newest book, Miracles Now: 108 Life-Changing Tools for Less Stress, More Flow, and Finding Your True Purpose, which I think we all need a little more of. So thank you. Welcome, Gabrielle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I'm excited about the new book. I loved your last book with the 40 days and the kind of tips and tools that I like those things that kind of bring people into that practice every day. And so I like that you kind of put together these 108 tools, and some of them are exercises, some of them are meditations that kind of really can help in so many different areas of our life. You talk about releasing anger, you talk about forgiveness, and even stopping our obsessive thoughts about things. So my first question really is how do you see people using this book, or how would you recommend people use the book?
My recommendation is that the people who are needing this book most are folks who are stressed out, feeling out of alignment with their own energy, feeling like their life is not flowing naturally. So there's a lot of ways they can use it. They can read it from start to finish and familiarize themselves with each exercise, and then pick out the exercises that are the most relatable to them at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they use one exercise in the book, they can experience a lot of change. So I really emphasize this. Even just applying one tool can change your life.
Right.
The other way is to just sort of set an intention daily for how you're feeling and for what you need, and open the book to any page, kind of like a tarot deck,
Right.
and have this experience of just being able to get the hit of inspiration that you need in that moment. So I like to use it that way. I kind of just open it to any page, but it has been written with a bit of a progression so that the lessons build upon the next and they support each other. So it is nice to read it all the way through once and then kind of use it interchangeably.
People might know you from A Course in Miracles, but you're incorporating Kundalini yoga in this and so many other tools. So how did you go about kind of figuring out, okay, what do I want to include into this book?
Yeah, this book is really a compilation of all the tools that I've been applying to my own life for the past decade. And now for the past 2 years, I've been a teacher and student of Kundalini yoga and meditation. So that has been obviously a major influence in my life. And that was a huge coming out party for me with this book, was putting these tools in the book and bringing the Kundalini technology to this book, which is exciting.
Right.
And yeah, so it's really the stuff that I've been applying to my own life, the tools that I've been using interchangeably for the past decade. And these were the sort of, the top picks. And obviously there's tons of other tools that I have in my repertoire, but these are the ones that I think have been the most effective for me. And that's why they were put into the book.
Okay. Now, one of the tips that you offer that kind of grabbed me that I thought was cool, one of them is titled, Worry is a Prayer for Chaos.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of, and I remember watching, I think Oprah interviewed 50 Cent. So for those of you who don't know, he's a rapper. And he said to her, she goes by the motto, worry or pray, but don't do both. And it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. And I had always loved that ever since I heard him say that. And so one of the tips that you share is really just basically taking a second and staring at the tip of your nose. So where did that come from, and how does that actually interrupt the process?
That's a tool taught by Yogi Bhajan in the Kundalini community. And when we stare at the tip of the nose, he suggests this for a lot of the meditations in Kundalini yoga and meditation, because it gets you to a place of what you would call shunya, which is a single pointed focus. It's a one mind. And that pressure that it puts on the pituitary gland is what gets you to the place of feeling a locking in of sorts and a disconnect from the chaos and the worry. So that experience that you feel a little bit of pressure in your third eye when you're staring at your nose. So it's an interesting practice. I think I would recommend it to anybody, and it just brings you right back into that centered place and sort of disconnects you from all of the worry that might be taking over.
Yes, and that's why I love it, because it's kind of like you said, it interrupts that process, and it stops you. And sometimes when we're on that train, we don't know how to stop it. So I really like that that tip. So another thing I know within it, you talk a lot about abundance and money, and that's always on people's minds, and of course that goes along with worry. And so one of the other tips that you offered that I thought was awesome was pray before you pay. And in that, you actually describe the kind of ritual that you came up with for your monthly bills and how you organize them in this box and everything. So can you kind of share that as one of the things with our audience and explain, why you came up with that ritual?
Yeah, I think that right now, a lot of us, when we're paying for things, we have sort of an energy of lack that comes up, like, oh, I'm
Yes.
losing money. Whereas if we change our perception around that, where I am recycling, I am investing in some, so let's say you're paying your employees, I'm investing in someone else's future. When we start to reorganize our energy around bill paying, it becomes less of a dramatic experience. And in effect, the more abundant energy that we can bring to it helps us attract more abundance rather than feel like we're dwelling in lack, which creates more lack. So this concept of pray before you pay gets you into a gratitude energy around money. So you're grateful that you're able to support other people. You're grateful that you're able to pay your bills. You're proud of yourself because you're paying your bills. And it just puts you into a whole different vibration around spending and paying rather than being in, oh my God, I'm so afraid to spend this money.
Right, right. Yeah, and you actually you said you created like kind of like a box to put your bills in, so it was a pretty box, and it kind of...
And it makes it more of a ritual rather than a chore.
Right, yes. And I like that too, because like you said, it kind of changes up the energy around that whole process.
Totally.
Yeah,
that's what the whole book is about, changing up the energy.
Exactly, which I love. So I know another tool that you talked about, and you've talked about this, in some of your other books as well, is one of the biggest things is having gratitude, just having gratitude for everything. So you offer a few different exercises on that, but I know there was one called, I think it's the 1 minute gratitude that you had learned from the author Terry Cole. So can you kind of share what that is with some of our listeners?
Yeah, it's really just about, once again, redirecting your focus. Just taking your focus and realigning it with all that you have and all that you're grateful for and all that is abundant in your life rather than having the focus be on what you don't have. And I often say that when you focus on what you do have, you create more of what you want. And so that energy of being in the place of I have all this creates a manifestation of more rather than this is something that's missing, right? So if you're trying to attract romance or love into your life, focus on the romance and the love that you have in your friendships, and that gets you to become a magnet for that which you desire. If you're right now, I'm focusing on really wanting my book to be supported. So I'll take this moment to say, look at Tammy, who's here helping support my book, right? Rather than thinking, oh, I haven't received media recognition in all of these places, focusing on where you have. So that energy redirect is what can really reorganize everything, and it gives you a greater sense of gratitude in your life.
Yes, yes. Now, a lot of the tools, the exercises that you offer, if you kind of look at them as a whole, are really, like you said, it's about it's like shifting that energy, or shifting us from negative to positive, or from, as the Course of Miracles talks about, from fear to love. So are there any kind of daily things that you find that work for you, that help shift you, that you can kind of share, whether they're in the book or not?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons. Changing your breath pattern. That in itself has saved me on countless occasions. So whenever I am in a place where I feel like I'm a little bit out of it, or I'm a little bit disconnected from my own energy, or I'm feeling like I'm not supported, I just change my breath pattern. So deepening your breath, locking into that breath, going into your diaphragm, that in itself can just reorganize the energy of any situation. There's a beautiful tool in the book that's a meditation called Peace Begins With Me, where you just press the different mudras. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And this one I use all the time. I use this when I'm about to go pick up the phone and make a phone call. I use it before I give a big lecture. Anytime I need to just tune in, peace begins with me. It's a beautiful one.
Very nice. Wonderful. Well, I have to say that I am grateful that you've taken the time to kind of share this with us. And again, here's the new book. We're very excited about it, and it launches April 8th. But of course, you can pre-order it now. And I wish you all the luck with the new book and the new launch. Thank you for being a friend of Elevated Existence, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.